Look at that. Immediately, right off the bat, all these amazing folks are rolling in. I'm going to pop up my chat so they can tell me where they're from, what's in your cup. Is it morning and you're still on coffee? Is it a Sunday? Are you brunching? Enjoying a mimosa or Bloody Mary? Steve, what are you drinking?
I am drinking this thing that I got at the local supermarket. I don't know. It's a healthy drink. So.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Healthy is good. Yeah, I too. Water this time of the morning.
Yeah, but I happen to know you well enough to know something is in that water.
This time, clear is clear. Listen, you know.
Oh, you still could have something in that water. So
that's
is
what
wonderful.
I'm saying.
I want to take this opportunity while people are still coming into the room and I hope you join me, people coming into the room, to applaud Basepaws for putting this amazing thing together. It couldn't have been done, I suspect, without the woman you're looking at, Becky Mosser. You know, Becky and several of her colleagues, veterinary technicians, put together an international conference, and it was all virtual. And you had people from all over the world. You certainly had people from America. And as quick as I do that, you guys put it together. I don't know how you did it, and had the most amazing, incredible speakers. Well, this has been great. And I love the fact that it's cat specific, because there isn't enough out there that is. So this has been wonderful. And for that, thank you, Becky, but also thank you to Basepaws, which you're a part of, but thank you to Basepaws for even, for making the commitment, financial commitment, time commitment to do this. So, and it's been so well run. And the speakers, my gosh, I watched yesterday all day learning myself.
It has been a phenomenal weekend. You are too kind, Steve. Thank you so much. It's, you know, Basepaws is an amazing company to work with. I love it. And the idea that we have all of the best cat owners in the world together.
They're right here.
Yeah. Right here. In fact, so much so I missed here, wait. Kim Kendall. It is 4 a.m.
Kim Kendall is here?
It is 4 a.m.
Oh my God. Is she really?
Yes, she says, is it 4 a.m. here in Sydney? And she says, only for you, Steve.
I adore her. And I wish we could see Kim now. And if we did, we can raise a lot of money for a shelter, because here is the question I would ask. What color, before she pops in, it would be, what color is her hair today? Because sometimes it's purple and pink. Sometimes it's pink and blue. Sometimes it's just blue. Sometimes it's red and orange. I mean, you never know. And she's a brilliant veterinarian. Dr. Kendall, you know I love you. I'm so excited now and a bit nervous, because she knows everything I know times 10. So,
oh boy,
she's great.
You guys, see, this is wonderful. So you guys, we already know, so many of you already know this gentleman here with me, who I get to call a friend and colleague, and honestly, just one of the best fellas I know. Always happy, so good at what he does. Dr. Kendall says it is red, orange, and auburn fall colors. we should never know. So I will tell you guys, yes, Nicole, you're absolutely right. He's a fantastic speaker, even better friend. Not only is Steve a certified animal behaviorist consultant, so he is available to work through these problems. So as you guys are pouring these questions, my cat, my cat, my cat, my cat, those are the questions you got to send to these guys. They'll work through all of the scenarios with you, really super detailed, because that's what he does, because he's taken the time, the energy to become educated because of his passion. You'll see he's wearing a Win Feline Foundation t-shirt.
Thank you. Yes. Papa!
He is a board member of the Win Feline Foundation, as well as the Human Animal Bond Association, where we serve together. He's the host of not one, but two nationally syndicated radio shows. First, Steve Dale's Pet Radio World and the Pet Minute. Board member, Win Feline Foundation, all around everything cats, everything behavior, everything pets. And that's why we love you. That's why we're honored to have you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to let you get going. You've got a great talk on litter box issues. So this is everybody's favorite. Let's let you get rolling.
Thank you. And I'm supposed to pop up this poll first.
Oh, wait,
So,
pop up that poll while I tell them the thing I didn't say about
Yep.
you, which is AVMAs, unfortunately, due to COVID, not given in person, but absolutely still validated. AVMA's Lifetime Media Achievement Award. Did I say that right?
yes, I guess. I don't know.
Like
They're gonna give it to
lifetime
me.
awards, you guys. So I just wanted you to know, you are in the presence of brilliance. Take it away, Steve.
Thank you. They weren't able to give it to me this year because there was no conference that they did in person. So I'm told they're giving it to me next year in Minneapolis, which is very nice. Hope to see you all there. While you take this poll, the PowerPoint you're about to see, I prepared, I don't recall exactly, 16, 18 slides, not very long. And I prepared it, it was done, and I sent it via Dropbox to Kristen and the team at Basepaws. So there's that part of the story, and we were supposed to go over, I think at 4 o'clock my time, the PowerPoint presentation to make sure it all went through, which turned out to be a good thing we planned to do. At about 5:24, I open up a cabinet in my kitchen because we're all working. This is my living room. That's my office down there, you know. So we're all working out of our homes, right? So I open up the cabinet and out falls, it was the little small pieces of oatmeal, crushed oatmeal or whatever the healthy oatmeal stuff. So I open up the cabinet, it falls out. The whole thing, we had just opened it, the whole thing pours out all over the floor. And it's like 5 minutes. I'm supposed to talk to Kristen. So I pull out the vacuum cleaner and I figure, okay, this is not good, but it's not horrible. The vacuum cleaner. Well, the vacuum cleaner, something happened. And instead of sucking everything in, it pushed everything out. And I suspect Dr. Kendall in Australia has oats from our house in her house. I mean, it went everywhere, everywhere, and took hours to clean up. And my wife helped clean it up when she got, it was a mess. I may never have oatmeal again. Okay, so let me look at the poll. How often does your cat go outside the box? So this is, so for half of you, it's an issue. For half of you, it isn't. And it really is the number one reason why people relinquish pets. Signs of pain, yes, more often than you think, actually. And I'll talk about a lot of that. Now, can you see my whole screen, guys? I need a confirmation if Becky, you can do that.
We can see your
Okay,
whole screen.
thank you. Okay, I always worry about that. So this is the number one reason.
Wait. We see the whole screen of you, not your presentation.
What? Oh, well, you see, that's.
Well, we were enjoying the view.
How about now?
Not now.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure what to do because I've got share screen on. Let me try it again.
Just make sure you.
I had it before.
Yeah, just make sure you're picking the right screen that's got your PowerPoint in it.
Well, now that screen isn't appearing on my desktop. This is why when I had it, I should have left well enough alone.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what to do about it because I'm doing everything I did.
There you go.
You see it now?
We sure do.
Okay. Okay.
Great recovery. Off you go. I'll leave you alone.
No, I'm glad you're here for me. You're a great trampoline net. Thank you. And now I'm bouncing back. So this is the number one reason why cats die in America. Broadly speaking, it's behavior problems, but this is by far the number one behavior problem, which became more of a behavior problem as more and more cats became indoor cats. I'm giving this presentation in about 35 minutes or however long it will take me, about that long, because I want time for questions afterwards. Typically, this can be a 2-hour presentation. And anyone who talks about this stuff could talk 3 or 4 hours about it. So how do cats think? And that's a good place for us, I think, to start. As compared to dogs, for example. Here's a lesson.
Hi, Trevor the Pet Guy, and I'm here with Totem Cat to answer one of the most popular questions cat owners have been asking lately. This question was first brought on by my good friend in Twitterland, Opie and Dixie, whose cat was peeing directly in front of their litter box. I want to start by explaining the difference between dogs and cats when selecting a spot to do their duty. This is what dogs think. It's very simple. They're a predator by nature, so they will try to find a scent of another dog and avoid it, or find their own and strengthen the odor. This is a territorial act, pure and simple. This is how cats decide to do things.
That's right. It's a lot more complicated with cats. And that's the whole point of all this. The good news is that people who do what I do, veterinary behaviorists, as well as the PhD behaviorist, anyone who truly understands can usually get a handle on it, but it takes a while. Lots of questions need to be answered because there may be a lot going into it. So as I said, this is the #1 problem of companion animals. We make our own rules in our homes. The cats aren't always told about that. There is no cat ever that does this out of spite. I don't care. And if you want to argue with me, I want to hear your explanation. I really do after this talk, but I can assure you, no cat does this out of spite. So the first thing is to rule out medical. And I will tell you, this is only a partial list of medical problems. The medical problems may contribute or be a 100% explanation for why the cat is thinking outside the box. It is a behavior, and therefore, in a sense, it's a behavior issue because we're seeing a behavior. But it may solely be due to, I'll take the top of the list here just as an example, diabetes. So let's say one of you goes online. You have you have 7 cats in one box. Sure enough, they're right, that website that says you need more than 1 box here for 7 cats. So you get 28 boxes. You really go overboard. That's not going to solve the diabetes problem. So you need medical intervention for lots of reasons why cats think outside the box. Now, there are 3 buckets, so to speak. One is spraying or marking. Another is voiding or toileting. And the third is defecating outside the box. These are all different from one another. The explanation is different, and the way in which the problem is solved is different in each case. And the reason why they're not hitting the box may be different for each of these 3. Now, obviously, defecation is different, but spraying and marking, and I'm using those 2 terms interchangeably, are not the same as voiding or toileting. And some people will use still even different terms. So let's talk about marking first. Marking behavior in cats is like a cat tagging territory, saying for whatever reason, and usually I was going to say usually it's based on anxiety, but not necessarily. But it's always a cat saying, this territory is mine. I mark the spot. And whether it's a tree outside or whether it's a wall in your house, they are marking the spot. Cats are really territorial, saying, this is my territory. So why do cats do it? Well, the cat may be inherently marking that territory. If the cat is intact, it's what intact cats do if they sense another male anywhere, or even if they don't, to say, this is my territory. But most of you have cats that are spayed or neutered. So that's probably not an issue for most of you. Could be seeing or smelling an outdoor cat. And that's actually probably the most common reason. It could be a new addition into the home of another cat, although many cats don't respond by spraying. Some certainly do. It could be that you live in an apartment or condominium, and all that wall all the way straight back, I'm in a condo. That wall all the way straight back is shared with some guy who lives over there. What if he has a cat tomorrow? And my cat, believe it or not, would be able to, in theory, smell, especially if that other cat urinates right there, right at that wall, what's on the other side of that wall. Cats are able to do that. So could be in response to that other cat. So the question is, what do you do about it? Well, you have to eliminate the trigger is the best thing to do. So if the cat is an outdoor cat that is causing problems, which is the most common explanation for your indoor cat spraying, what do? How do you prevent an outdoor cat from coming by? Well, there are things you can do. Temporarily, you can close the curtains and keep the cat on somewhere else in the house. At least for now, you're going to redirect the cat to the litter box because the cat is not exposed to that other cat or cats that are outdoors. It's not a permanent solution to the problem necessarily, but it solves the problem, at least for now, by doing that. How do you solve it permanently? Well, depends who's coming around. If it's a group of cats, a clouder, as they say, of cats, I guess you can have them all spay neuter, take them to the shelter to be spay neutered, capture them all in humane traps. That's one possibility. A better possibility to deter them maybe it's a product I like called the Scarecrow, and it's available, at least in the United States, online, anywhere from 20 bucks or so to 45 bucks or so, depending on where you get it. Also, some hardware stores sell it. So what this is, it looks like a scarecrow, and it's like a stick thing, and you stick it in the ground, except when a critter goes by, whether it be other cats, a raccoon, a squirrel, little kids, it squirts water because you hook it up to your sprinkler, if you can do that. So that's a possibility. Of course, cats don't love water. People have told me all sorts of ways that they are able to keep other cats away. From one time going out there spraying the cat never comes back, to setting up balloons and the cat will burst the balloon and get scared, the outdoor cat, and never come back. I mean, people have all sorts of methods. There are things that like mint and lemon and those sorts of things you could put out. If the cat gets a good whiff of that, some cats will never come back. Back to the indoor cat about what you do to deal with it. Of course, neuter that cat if the cat is not neutered. Feel away spray was originally actually created for this purpose. So what you do is you spray the feel away spray, which is a copy of a pheromone that cats naturally emit. It happens to be the cheek pheromone, which is a comfort pheromone. So when cats rub against your leg or a chair leg, what they're doing is depositing that pheromone. It's a copy of that pheromone. You actually spray it on the cat spray where the cat sprayed, and it tones down the anxiety in the cat. There are lots of nutraceuticals available. I'm not going to go through them all here. If the problem is intercat relationships, you brought in another cat, or for whatever reason, two cats are not getting along now, and the response from one of those cats is spraying, fixing that problem is key. I have a separate talk that will take an hour if I talk about intercat relations, and actually we heard a lot about that yesterday. Certainly add a litter box to where near where that cat is spraying. Now, bigger issue is voiding and toileting. One or the other, you can call it what you want, but it's cats having accidents around the house. Now, I need to define something. Oh my gosh, I didn't do this. How do you know if the cat is spraying or toileting? So if the cat is toileting, the cat, it looks like this. The cat is going up on a place, countertop, a bed, yikes, whatever the cat is going on and urinating, could be on the floor. And they're voiding on a flat surface. Spraying is going up against a surface like this, you know, anywhere from 2 to 3 to typically maybe even a half a foot off the ground, as high as the cat is, sometimes higher because the cat will point higher. A lot of cats do that. And then the urine trickles down. The tail usually quivers. The cats will often vocalize as they do it. Urinating or voiding, they don't usually say much unless it hurts. And it might, because there might be crystals. They might have, in addition to that, they might have cystitis. All of that is painful, so it might hurt. But unless the cat is painful, the cat is usually quiet when the cat does this. The tail isn't quivering back and forth, and the urine is horizontal and not trickling down from a piece of furniture or a wall vertically. And that is at least a part of the difference between spraying and voiding. So, reasons why a cat may void or urinate outside the box. These are some of them, not all of them. But I'm going to go through as many as I possibly can here. So a big question in trying to figure this all out, and again, this talk is kind of looking at the big picture, is, well, when do these accidents occur? And where are the accidents? So it's about location and it's about timing. And understanding that and telling a behavior consultant or a veterinary professional that is really helpful for that person to figure out what's going on. So, is the cat going next to the box? And if so, what does that mean? Next to the box? Well, my rule, and it's a good time to say it, is as many cats as you have, you need one more box. And they all need to be in different places. So having, say, if you have 3 cats, having 4 boxes, that would be the correct number. But having them all in the same room, in a way, is like having one giant box. So they all have to be in different places. And this can be challenging because you may not live in a house or an apartment large enough. If you have 5 cats, they have 6 boxes in 6 different places. You might not even have 6 different rooms. But why do we have that number? Why is it that if you have 3 cats, you need 4 boxes? You have 4 cats, you need 5 boxes. Why is it the number of cats plus 1? And the answer is, I don't know. There's actually been no absolute study that has confirmed this is what we need. But some number of years ago, this became the mantra, and overall, it seems to work. But the number of boxes in itself, well, it's important, for sure, isn't the only thing. So let's say the cat does go next to the box. I am about to break my rule. Some cats, for reasons we don't understand, spontaneously, at the age of 5 or 6 or 7, decide, I need 1 box to, isn't this great first thing in the morning? I need 1 box to poop in and I need another to pee in. Why? We don't honestly know. But for some cats, that is the case. So if the cat is going right next to the box, that's a possibility. But another possibility is you're not cleaning the box often enough. You are not scooping often enough. Even if you just have 1 cat in the house. Scooping once a week ain't gonna do it. Once a day is what we want. And for cats that are a bit more persnickety or who have a history, even if it's recent history, of urinating outside the box, scooping twice a day. And if it's an older cat, the more you do it, the better off you are, for reasons very well described yesterday by Tabitha Casera. So that's another possibility. The reality is that the client, if you're a veterinary professional, or maybe one of you, I hate to say it, just not scooping as often as you think. And sometimes you think someone else in the household is doing it. They don't. They think you're doing it for whatever reason. But that is an explanation sometimes for why cats go right next to the box. That box is just too dirty. Or maybe the box is clean and you change to a different kind of litter. And the cat doesn't like that new litter. Hop in the box. Yuck, I don't like it. Hops right back out, but I really got to go. So they go. And going right next to the box tells you at least they don't mind the location and they kind of tried. And for one of the reasons that I described, it just didn't work out. By the way, elderly cats, it could be that it just hurts too much to get into the box. So that's why we want, as Tabitha Casera pointed out yesterday, we want flat boxes that they don't really have to step into. So many of our older cats are arthritic, far more than we know. Going on an elevated surface, what does that mean? So like on a bed or a sofa, lots of things about it. It's soft, it's cushy, it's elevated. So I get to see what's going on around me. Why would that be important? Well, let's say there's another cat or other cats that aren't getting along with that cat. or another cat is blocking the box. And people say, I'll go into a house and people say, my cats get along wonderfully, and overall they may. But there may be a bully cat just laying down in a hallway 20 feet in front of the box. But that's intimidating enough. The cat's either doing it because it's a good sunny spot, has nothing to do with the other cat, doesn't care about blocking the pathway, but is, or might care about blocking the pathway, but nevertheless is. And that cat is too intimidated to get to the box. So that's aggression. Even though you don't think of it as aggression, it actually is aggression. So defining the relationships between the cats is important. And one hint that there could be a problem is a cat going on an elevated surface. But it could be other things going around the box too. Little kids playing around the box, if there's only one box. A dog sniffing in the box. That big smelly thing sniffing in my box, I'm just gonna go up here. Or there's just too much commotion in the house in general, and a bed is soft and cushy and smells like us. And the same for a sofa. So it's not a bad place, given an alternative from the cat's perspective. In bathtubs very often, for some of the same reasons, but some cats actually seem to like that surface. And there are some veterinarians who suggest that cats that go in bathtubs or on countertops, another high place, are actually telling us that also something is medically wrong. So there's no data to demonstrate this, but I know many veterinarians who are brilliant who say that cats who go on those harder surfaces, it may more likely be that something is medically going on. Cat going inside a closet. Why would a cat do that? Well, maybe I get a lot of that when there's someone else in the house, either a visitor to the house who's been visiting 3 weeks, a boyfriend or a girlfriend living or staying over the night or something like that. And the cat is so disturbed, the cat doesn't want to go in front of that person, not because the cat is shy, but intimidated about the change. And maybe the litter box is where that other person is a lot, which makes it even worse. Do accidents occur when the family is home or not home? That's important. We talked a bit about separation anxiety in cats yesterday, and it can happen. Separation anxiety does occur in cats. So if it only happens when you're not home, that may lead me to think, okay, I wonder if there's some separation distress going on. A big question is, because most people don't have a cat, they have more than one cat. In America, anyway, I think the number is 2.3 or 2.4 cats. I'm not sure who has the 0.4 cat, but nevertheless, we have more than one cat on average. So which cat is responsible? Now, sometimes you know, but sometimes you don't. Well, the camera can. So, setting up cameras is an inexpensive thing. And I used to talk about all different types of ways to identify which cat is the guilty cat. I don't even do that anymore. For the same cost of doing all those other things I described, far more efficient and less expensive, actually, to just set up a camera or two, and you can see who the culprit is. So cleaning is really important to address problems. And people say that now that I've cleaned, and by the way, I chose to put this product up there because I happen to like it, Fresh Wave, but there are other products that are really, really good at neutralizing the odor. Anti-icky poo, who can't remember that name, is another one. So there are lots of them available. Some work better than others. It can help, definitely. Helps you so you don't smell it anymore. And if you're smelling it, your cat is smelling it because your sense of smell is not nearly as efficient as a cat's. But that doesn't solve the problem. So it's good to do. You want to clean up after the cat, but in of itself, you need to do more than that. You need to figure out what's going on that caused the cat to do this in the first place. Because you're just going to clean it up, which is wonderful. The cat, if it's in a really good product and you do a good job of cleaning it up according to the directions on the product, cat may not go back to that same spot, but whatever the problem is, intercat aggression is still going on. Not enough litter boxes, still going on. Not cleaning the box enough, still going on. So unless you address the reason why the cat in the first place missed the box, you're not really going to solve that problem, except temporarily, maybe even. Another thing that I learned back in the day was just to retrain the cat to use the box. So what you do is you put the cat in the bathroom, put a litter box in there, put the cat's food and water in there. I have issues with that. I have welfare issues. So what we learned yesterday is you're not doing any cat any favor by, we don't like to eat in our bathroom, by putting the food bowl and the water right next to the litter box, unless your bathroom is as big as most homes. Also, the toys in there, who wants to play in the bathroom? So what we can do, if we, especially if you pull up the carpeting, we have an area rug there and the cat may just go on the rug. So pull up the area rug if you're going to do this, but I'm not a fan of it. You can indeed effectively retrain the cat to use the box. That's the good news. But the bad news is that, again, once that's done and you let the cat out into the rest of the house, you still have that intercat aggression. You still have the problem of not scooping enough, if that was a problem. You're still using the wrong kind of cat litter for the cat, if that was the problem. Whatever the problem initially was still exists. So yes, if you're desperate, you are retraining the cat efficiently. And maybe what you need is time to address these other problems. I'm not a fan of doing this, but if people are desperate, fine. But the reality is, once out of that bathroom, after 3, 4, 5 days, the cat's back to where the cat was. You follow what I mean? Intercat aggression can be a problem. Now, is this cat being aggressive? So there's a litter box right in back that way. So the cat was looking out to see when that other cat in the house is coming. When that other cat came, this cat strategically actually laid down to block the way to the litter box. Yes, of course, the other cat can walk around this cat. The other cat doesn't have enough nerve to do it because the two cats don't get along. And this cat is intentionally blocking the path. The cat's owners did not understand that this is actually intercat aggression. So solving that problem, a whole different talk, but here's where it's not a whole different talk. Solving that problem will actually solve the litter box issue or go a great ways to do that. The other thing is put litter boxes where the other cat hangs out the most. So that cat doesn't necessarily have to interact with the cat that's blocking the way to that box. However, for peace of mind, for the welfare of both cats and the people who live there, you do want to solve this problem anyway. So what I also didn't talk about that I should before I get to this issue is to cover the box or not to cover the box, and what kind of box to use. So most cats, according to studies, and about the litter too, I should have done a slide on that. So about the cat litter, most cats like fine grain, unscented. Those scents are put in the products for us. Unscented, if you can find it. It can even be hard to find, but they want unscented litter and they want the finest grain possible. The finer, the better. Clumping litter is just fine. The little pearls, no, they get between the pads of the cat and they can actually hurt. They can hurt to step on and to stand on. But in addition to that, they get all over the house. They don't track very well. So there's that issue. The recyclable litters, and I'm all for any product that is helping the environment. Having said that, depending on the individual product, may help the environment, but it may help that cat to say, I don't want to use this litter. I don't want to use the box, therefore. So, because it's just not comfortable for the cat. Cats also want to naturally scratch and cover what they do. Now, it's been said that a cat who doesn't cover what he or she does is uncomfortable with that litter. That can be. But some cats just don't cover their stuff, especially as they age. They're more comfortable in their environment, and maybe they feel they don't need to cover it. I am now anthropomorphizing, we don't know that. But what we do know is that increasingly cats are arthritic as they age, and it can hurt to just do that. So, why bother? It's like, why bother flushing the toilet if you're 92 years old? You may not care, especially if you live alone. Who's gonna know? And maybe that, in a sense, is what's going on with these cats. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the cat is unhappy with the box, or especially the litter, if the cat isn't doing that. And some cats just don't cover their stuff, period. I don't know why. However, most cats do. And if your cat has always done that, and now this Tuesday begins not to do it, that's a hint that something is going on. Always switching off litters is not a good idea. So finding a favorite of your cat's and sticking with it, even if the product next to it is on sale, is the best idea as far as your cat's concerned. Now, a covered box or uncovered, well, cats like privacy when they do their business, just like we do. So they want, and location. So they want a private place, but they don't want a place so private that they're totally away from everyone. So putting a litter box up in the attic or down in the basement, that's private. Couple of issues with that. First of all, they have to climb the stairs. Fine for a 2-year-old cat. But what if that cat gets to be 22? We hope, right? So it's going to be hard, even at the age of 9, 10, 11, to go up and down those stairs. And as Dr. Ward will talk about, we live in a nation filled with overweight and obese cats, where arthritis is even more likely to happen, and it's even more difficult at even younger ages to go up and down the stairs. Also, they cannot see where they're going because it's dark. And yes, cats are adept at seeing at night, but not necessarily when they're 14 years old or 15 years old, unless there's a night light. But still, I'm not a fan of putting litter boxes so far off. Yeah, it's fine that the friends and family that come over don't see or smell the box, but it's so far off, it may be difficult actually for the cat to get to, and at some point, they won't even bother trying. So that's an issue. So location is really important. Having said that, they don't want a box that's, and nor do you, that's in the middle of the living room and in the middle of all the activity. So yes, they want their privacy, but they don't want to be so far away from everything that it's difficult to get to, but moreover, that it's removed from the household. So I know of people that have had litter boxes in garages, no steps, easy to get to. They don't use the box because it is just perceived by the cat to be so far away from my family. That's just too far. And it's not the size of the house far, it's just distanced from where everybody else is, if you understand what I mean. Put a hood on it or not. Most cats statistically don't like that. They want no cover on the box. Having said that, there are cats that seem to prefer that extra privacy. You definitely want, when cats use boxes that have hoods, they always face out, almost always anyway, in the direction of where they came in, where that open space is, so they could see what's going on around them. When they're doing what we're about to see here, they feel vulnerable. So having a view is important. Some cats, though, prefer hoods. Most, it seems, do not. So why would a cat defecate outside the box? Medical considerations, diet are actually most common. Constipation. And then the same kind of stuff I've talked about here. Litter box aversion, not scooping enough, not enough boxes, et cetera, et cetera. Location of the boxes. Marking can happen, by the way, using defecation. It's called middening, but that's a rare event. Oh, so this is me. So I hope you find me on social media instantly. I want to talk about one of these things. That's the book, Decoding Your Cat. It's amazing because it's written by veterinary behaviorists. Those are the absolute professionals, in my view, in animal behavior, because what they are clearly are experts in animal behavior, but also they are veterinarians. So it's written from the perspective of both. And you never get that, but it's also written in a way that's just kind of fun and that anyone who has a cat can understand. And whether you've had cats your entire life or this is your first kitty you just got, and if so, congratulations, it doesn't matter. This book will have tips in it, I can assure you. You will learn from this book, but not in a clinical way, even though they're all scientists who wrote the book. Me, I'm promoting it because I think it's great. I wrote the introduction, I'll say that, but other than that, I had nothing to do with the book, except that I love the idea that it's written and I love what's in it. There's another book we did called Decoding Your Dog. So this follows up to that book. Here are some other books I contributed to, and I hope you fulfill your assignment and find me in social media as well. And also consider checking out the Win Feline Foundation. Pretty much everything for the past 52 years that we understand about cat health was once funded by the Win Feline Foundation. We continue to fund. I mean, who would have thought for FIP there would be a treatment? There is. And it's the Win Feline Foundation that actually supported that financially, the clinical trials, and the drug remdesivir used for people with COVID-19. Scientists wouldn't have known about that possibility if it wasn't for the Win Feline Foundation. And I can go on and on about the Win Feline Foundation. I don't want to, because I want to answer any questions that you have. So Becky, you can jump back in here whenever you like.
Okay, I am chomping at the bit here because we have some amazing questions. Boy, a lot of questions. So we'll get to as many as we can in the time that we have left. So one question that got asked several times, what about the covering urine versus covering poops? So a lot of people are mentioning that their cats cover urine, but they don't cover their poop. Is this a normal behavior? Anything to do? Should we encourage covering poops? What are your thoughts?
I'm not sure how you encourage that. You know, it makes me think of something though, and then I will directly answer the question. You bring in a new cat into the house that you adopt, or maybe the cat adopts you, right? That's often how it works. Cat's kind of knocking at the door, let me in, and you let the cat in. What we do with dogs very effectively, and we don't do with cats, because we assume they naturally will use the litter box. And indeed, there's a lot of truth to that. But why not reward the cat for using the box? So you bring in a new cat into the house, again, a kitten, or you're adopting, hooray for you if you do, an 18-year-old cat. Cat uses the box, offer a good treat, and say, good kitty. Why not? You know, we don't do that enough with cats. I don't know why. Sometimes individual cats will bury their poop and not their urine, or vice versa, or neither. And that can be normal for that individual cat. If it's a change of behavior, then I say there's an issue going on. And it could be a medical issue, and it could be that there's a behavior. The cat's about to say, okay, the next step is I'm not even going to use the box. Or the cat is tolerating the box and may continue to use that box for the rest of its life, but is saying, I'm not really happy about it. But that's if there's a change. If your cat, since you've had that cat, has always done whatever, not buried the poop and buried the pee, or vice versa, it's perfectly normal for that cat, and there is nothing wrong.
Fantastic. So we were talking a little bit about those outside walls. I'm so glad you brought those up. But there's some questions about how to deter neighborhood cats from coming into the yard. What do you love to use?
Well, I mentioned the scarecrow. I wish I had a longer list of things that I knew were really effective. I don't. If you know whose cat it is, tell them to keep their darn cat indoors because it's causing problems with your cat. I mean, I wish I had a better answer. And if one of you does, I want to hear it. I really do, because this is a huge issue for a lot of indoor cats. And you're doing the right thing by keeping your cat indoors. And now there's an interloper on your property who's pooping on your plants and causing your indoor cat to spray all over the house, which may be causing another cat you have to begin spraying all over. And it's all because of this foreign cat that's on your property. I wish I had a better answer. I talked about the scarecrow. That works well. If physically you see that cat, you run outside and go, and a cat runs away. Sometimes that's enough to deter a cat from ever coming back. Why is the cat coming there in the first place? So if there's a reason for it, like you have lots of mice in your yard and they're having lunch, lots of birds because you have a bird feeder that's attracting those cats for the time being, do something about the mice and take away the bird feeder, you know, but I wish I had better answer than all that. I don't.
That's okay. I think the best thing is to, you know, you don't make up an answer. I think that makes sense. That, you know, there are, it's a very hard thing to keep wildlife of all kinds out of your yard. I have to say, we have, I always tell people to put cameras up, even if they don't have them now, to see. You have no idea how much comes into your yard. You think, like, I have a 6-foot fenced in yard, you know, solid wood planks. And the other day we had a possum visitor, and, you know, we get several cats in and out of our yard, and you just would never know it. So get a camera and check it out and see what's out there. And then I have some people mentioning predator urine that you can try that. There are also spray deterrents. So there's lots of different things.
Yeah, so thank you for bringing that up. So you can actually go to places or go online and buy things like coyote urine, wolf urine. The problems are it may not work. It might. Yeah. It might. The other problem is it rains.
Yeah.
Or snows, and then the smell, you know, dissipates. But all of those things, yes. And that's thank you for bringing that up. I just didn't think of saying, but I do talk about that. That can be a deterrent. Those things can be deterrents. That's great. Thank you.
No, I know you talk about it. I've heard you say it. That's wonderful. And we've got such a great group here too, that has so much experience to, you know, to tap into. So keep those comments coming. So friend of Basepaws, a good friend of ours, theoretically Teddy, woo, easy for me to say, is asking a really interesting question. Teddy likes to perch on all fours on the edge of the litter box to poop. Is this normal? And if you didn't, for number one, I want video, but number two, I know what you're gonna say, Steve.
Yeah, it's that tells me there's something going on, and it could be any number of things. It could be a medical situation with your cat, even arthritis, although it would hurt to perch on all fours. In more likelihood, it's the cat litter or you not scooping enough. I mean, they want to use the box, they want to be at that location, but they just don't want to step in that litter. And I can't tell you why. I don't know. So if you're using one of those unusual litters, like a pelleted litter or a or pine or what a cedar, and cedar, by the way, some reports are that that's not healthy for cats anyway, especially in an enclosed box, because the scent of cedar, well, we may appreciate that in cedar closets. We don't live in a cedar closet. We don't spend it. I mean, it's just not healthy for a little animal that big. Don't use cedar. But even it could be the litter itself is hurting the paws of this cat. Again, it could be that there's too much litter in there. Ideally, it's about that much litter that should be in the box. So it could be that you're drowning your cat in litter and the cat just doesn't want to step in it, or that there's just not enough in there. I've seen both and people have no idea. So it could be any of those things, but the answer is no, it's not normal.
So here's an interesting follow-up to that. She also mentions an OCD problem in cat that Teddy digs excessively, so all the litter's in one corner. So it sounds like Teddy doesn't want to walk, he wants to get it out of the way.
That could well be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you know, yes, it could be that Teddy is one of those idiosyncratic, unusual cats that just wants to move everything out of the way, wants to have a clear place to aim at, and push, that's it. And I'm standing over here to do it.
Yeah.
That's possible. I mean, every cat is different. And that could be Teddy's normal. And if Teddy has always done this, fine. But it is unusual, and in general tells me there is a problem, any one of which I described.
Yeah, at least ruling them out. Hey, can you show us how much litter? We have some people saying they missed it. So everybody look at Steve. How much litter, Steve?
That much. No.
Woo!
About that much. I forget the exact, I mean, I have it in some of the presentations, and scientists have actually studied this. So I believe it's 2 to 4 inches. I think I've got that right. If you do inches wherever you are in the world,
Oh,
I
geez,
think
yeah.
it's 2 to 4 inches.
Oh gosh. Okay, I'm reading through some of these questions and just trying to pull out some. There's lots to go on, and we're just about out of time. Oh, I've got one last question. And boy, again, you guys can reach out to Steve. He's all his info is here. He is a consultant, but what about doggies in litter boxes?
Yeah. I do a whole half hour on that. So there are lots of ways to keep dogs out of the box. You could train them or try to do that. There are gates that a cat can wear a collar with a little code in it. What's the word that I'm looking for?
Microchip.
Thank you. And it added, you're so good.
That's what I'm here for. It's what techs do. We back you up.
Yeah, you did. You always do. So it opens that door magically for the cat, allowing the cat to go through, but not the dog. That you could just cut a hole in a baby gate. So if you have a Great Dane, that dog isn't fitting through that hole, and the cat's going to fit through the hole. I've seen people put boxes up high. I'm never a proponent of that. And I have one picture actually of a step stool that goes to a box that goes to the top of a washing machine. But my concern is that the cat needs to use the washing machine when the washing machine is going and the cat's in the box going and ends up falling over, and that cat would never use that box again. I mean, you wouldn't want to use a moving toilet, I don't think. So just think about what is appropriate and not appropriate, but there are ways to keep dogs out of the box. And yes, that can be offensive. Some cats can care less. They'll just move the dog out of the way and use the box. But lots of cats will say, what? I don't want to go in this thing that smells like a dog. So it depends on the cat. No matter, that great snack for the dog is not a healthy snack for the dog. So keeping the dog out of there is probably a good idea. And the dog goes to kiss everyone later. It's kind of gross.
They love it. In my house, they love it. We do baby gates. So we just do baby gates that have a hole cut in it, small enough for our kitties, but big enough to keep our dogs out, or vice versa. And then their other room, it's just off the ground this much. And they can get underneath it, and the dogs can't. So those are great tips. Steve, we could talk to you all day long. Should we cancel all the other speakers?
Yeah, that's the problem. You've got wonderful speakers following me. Check out Decoding Your Cat's Friends, and check out Basepaws if you haven't on their website. Lots of great information about cats, and maybe you want your cat genetically tested to see what your cat really is. And Basepaws provides all of that. To Basepaws, to you, Becky, as always, thank you so much.
Thank you. And you guys will join us next because, Steve, we are giving away a litter robot.
Ooh. Yeah. And also a trip to Greece.
Well, once COVID's up, potentially. Okay. I did offer a trip to deliver in Greece. So you guys join us there next. Steve, thank you again. I can't wait to give you a big hug in person. But until then, we'll see you soon.
Becky.
Bye.
Thanks,